Rocky is one of my favorite film series of all time. The first 6 movies primarily follow Rocky Balboa, a boxer from Philadelphia played by Sylvester Stallone, and the many peaks and valleys of his life, as well as his various relationships and of course his boxing career. The 7th film, Creed, shifts the focus more to Adonis Johnson, the son of Apollo Creed being trained by Rocky. At least one of these movies has come out during every decade since the 1970s, so watching them all in a row, you really get a sense of this character's entire life as he ages from 30 in the first film, all the way up to his 70s in the present day.
It doesn't over till it's over.
Each movie ultimately boils down to the main character symbolically facing his inner demons and personal problems, personified through an important boxing match, built towards throughout the film with one or more epic training montages. Despite being somewhat formulaic on paper, these movies vary wildly in tone and even genre, spanning the full spectrum from realistic life dramas to 80s action cheese and all the way back again. To celebrate the release of the 8th installment, Creed 2, in a few weeks, I thought it'd be a lot of fun to review each of these movies leading up to the new film. The first movie, Rocky, came out in 1976. It was written by Sylvester Stallone and directed by John G. Avildsen. Rocky was a passion project of Stallone's, with the character of Rocky Balboa modeled partly on his own experiences, struggling to be taken seriously as a writer and actor. The studio didn't want him for the role due to his speech impediment, however, Stallone insisted on being able to star in the film, refusing to sell the script otherwise, even though he was making less than $40 a week at the time as an usher. He ended up taking a deal where, to play Rocky, among other concessions, the film would receive only half of its original $2 million budget, and Stallone would only be paid as an actor despite having also written the film's screenplay. The plot of the movie is pretty straightforward. Rocky Balboa is a down-on-his-luck, small-time boxer with no money and few future prospects, a lifetime underachiever who, despite being naturally gifted at the sport, has never taken himself seriously, and is now well on his way to becoming washed up, working as a collector for a local loan shark to make ends meet.
You had the talent to become a good fighter, and instead of that, you became a leg breaker.
However, the opportunity of a life comes around for Rocky when heavyweight boxing champion Apollo Creed finds himself without an opponent for a big upcoming fight in Philadelphia just 5 weeks before the event is scheduled. Since no other high-profile boxer will agree to fight him on such short notice, Apollo selects Rocky from a list of local fighters based on nothing except that he likes the sound of his nickname, the Italian Stallion, to fight against him in a kind of spectacle event.
The Italian Stallion. The media will eat it up.
Hesitant at first, Rocky accepts the offer and begins to turn his life around with encouragement from the people around him. The characters in this movie are all emotionally compelling with layers of complexity. Rocky is a good-natured person who does his best to help out people he encounters. Early on in the film, while collecting a debt, he lets this guy off with a warning despite being told to break his thumbs, and later tries to steer a little girl from the neighborhood named Maria away from hanging out with the wrong crowd. He only fights because it's the only thing he's ever been good at, and he doesn't have a very high opinion of himself because of it.
You gotta be a moron to want to be a fighter, you know what I mean?
Apart from Rocky himself, the main cast of the first film is made up of Rocky's girlfriend Adrian, played by Talia Shire, who he begins dating in the film, his trainer Mickey, played by Burgess Meredith, and his temperamental best friend Paulie, played by Burt Young, who is also Adrian's brother. Over the course of the film, Rocky affects the lives of these people in positive ways, as they do for him, since, like Rocky, they all begin the film in bad places. Adrian is extremely shy, lacking self-confidence, Paulie has anger issues and lashes out at the people close to him, and Mickey is a lonely old man who spent his life pushing others away. By the end of the movie, all 4 characters have grown and become more complete and fulfilled people.
She's got gaps, I got gaps, together we fill gaps, I don't know.
The minor characters are also fleshed out. You get a really great sense of the eccentric, business-minded Apollo Creed, played by Carl Weathers, despite him not being in much of the first film. Apollo doesn't pay much mind to the upcoming fight against Rocky, concerning himself more with self-promotion. He's also extremely patriotic, seeing the event with Rocky as an embodiment of the American dream, and showing up to the match dressed as George Washington. Even the loan shark, Gazzo, who Rocky works for, is given some complexity. The movie avoids treating him as a stereotype, and Gazzo seems to genuinely care for Rocky, giving him money for training without expecting to be repaid, and attending the fight at the end to cheer Rocky on. Rocky trains harder than he ever has before, and defying everybody's expectations, he manages to go the distance against Apollo, something nobody else has ever managed to do. For those who don't know, this means that he went the complete 15 rounds of the boxing match without getting TKO'd by the champion. The film's plot was inspired by the real-life story of Chuck Wepner, a boxer who was given the opportunity to fight then-heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali, and ended up making making it to the 15th round, though unlike Rocky, Wepner lost by TKO with 19 seconds remaining. Rocky ultimately loses the fight by split decision, but it doesn't really matter since the real victory is the fact that he improved himself as a person, as well as the bonds he had with his friends and loved ones. Rocky's score by Bill Conti perfectly matches and accentuates the high-running emotions of the film. In particular, the song Gonna Fly Now, played during Rocky's training montage, has gone down as one of the most recognizable music tracks in film history. Rocky is the ultimate underdog movie, both in terms of its story where the broke club fighter is the underdog fighting against the heavyweight boxing champion, as well as on a meta level where Sylvester Stallone was the underdog fighting to make his film the way he wanted to, even though many thought he wouldn't succeed. However, Rocky, both the character and the movie, ended up proving everyone wrong. It was the highest grossing film of 1976, got nominated for 10 Academy Awards, and won 3 for Best Film Editing, Best Director, and Best Picture. Stallone was nominated for Best Actor, though he didn't get it, another analog for Rocky, who lost the fight against Apollo in the film. The first time you watch Rocky, it's impossible to imagine there could be a sequel. The story's over, Rocky's character arc is concluded, and everyone's happy. Even he and Apollo both agree there won't be a rematch.
Ain't gonna be no rematch.
Don't want one.
Yeah, right. Next week we'll be taking a look at Rocky 2. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more like it in the future, and comment down below letting me know your thoughts on Rocky. I've got tons of other content on this channel you can check out if you like this. There's some links up here on the screen. Thanks very much once again for watching, and take care.